Hello everyone, my name is First Century Dr. Luke, or you can just call me Luke for short. Now, we in the doctor game, we can't just do anything we like to patients. We need to provide evidence-based care. And so what we do is we research, we learn things from doing experiments. And that's what I want to do with you today, because an expert in the law came up to Jesus and he said to Jesus, "Jesus, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus, he wasn't slow. He asked the man a question and he said, "Well, what do you think?" And the man replied, "Well, love God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself." And Jesus said, "You are correct. Do this and you will live." But the man wasn't satisfied. He said to Jesus, "Well, who's my neighbor?" And Jesus told him a story to show the man who his neighbor really was. He told a story about a man who was coming down a road from Jerusalem to Jericho, a really dangerous road. And he was set upon by robbers where he was beaten and they stole his clothes and they left him dying beside the road. Now I'm going to run a little experiment to see what people do. I'm going to dress up someone who is dying down the side of this road and we're going to see how people respond to me. Let's try this out. I've got some friends with me to help with some special effects. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am dressed as a dying man lying on the side of the road. We're going to conduct an experiment, a real life experiment, to see who is going to help their neighbor, just like the story Jesus told. Okay, let's see who's coming now. Ah, it's a priest. Now these guys have an important job working for God in the temple. He should know God's law. Let's see if he helps me out. You can tell by his expression, he really didn't want to help. And look, off he goes. Okay, let's see if anybody else is coming. Ah, it's a Levite. These guys, they also work in the temple. They really know a thing or two about God's law. Let's see if he helps me out. See if he helps his neighbor. Whoa, he didn't even want to come close. Look at him on his way. He didn't want to help his neighbor either. Okay, there's one more person coming. Appears to be a Samaritan. This could be interesting.
My brother! What has happened to you? Please, let me help you. I've got bandages and oil and wine, and actually I know of an inn near the city that can help you. Come on.
Thank you. You've shown a lot of kindness to your neighbour. Well, wasn't that an interesting experiment? It turned out just like Jesus' story. It had excellent repeatability. Now Jesus went back to the man who was the expert in the law and he said to him, "Which of these three men was a neighbour to the man who was lying on the side of the road?" And the expert in the law said, "Well, it was the man who had mercy upon him." Jesus replied, "Go and do the same." It's interesting sometimes that it's the people who know the most about God's rules who fail to do it. And in fact, we can all be a bit like that. We need God's mercy. We need Jesus' mercy. Anyway, I'm going to see you next time. I think it's time for a nap.